It's a podcast.
I don't know anything about a podcast.
It's just a
All right,
podcast.
well, let's just get right into it.
All right.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Johnny. This is my wife, Kim. This is His and Hers podcast. A little podcast that we put together for a bunch of different reasons, really.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot of career goals. We have a huge family, 6 kids. We have a lot of success and challenges that we've overcome together, and look forward to sharing them with you.
So what makes us good hosts, or, who are we, to give advice, or why would we put a podcast together? So first, why would I do a podcast with my wife? Like, who is she? So when I'm thinking about podcasts, and my goal and my idea is to do it with professionals, with educators, people who are educated, people who are professionals in their field, to just kind of help give an insight and give maybe some of that, what you call a hallway chat, that some people wouldn't get.
Yeah.
My wife, Kim, she's a perfect example on why I would have her as a co-host to talk about these things. And we can kind of go back to high school, right? We went to high school together. She was the nerdy cheerleader, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like the athlete slash stoner, you know what I mean? So she was always smart. I always knew she was smart. She was known as being smart. If I remember correctly, my memory of her was she was one of the smart kids, and that was attractive to me, even as a young man in high school.
Yeah, I don't remember you as a stoner. You were the preppy soccer player.
Yeah, we'll get into that in another
cute
podcast.
Blonde hair with the wave.
Yeah. There's an expression that we're always one bad decision from changing the rest of our lives.
Very true.
So we'll talk about that in another episode for sure. But she went to college, got master's degrees. She's got a master's degree in business administration. She's got a master's degree in, you got a bachelor's degree in a business administration.
Yes.
You got a master's degree in business administration. And then you have a master's degree in project management.
I do.
And then you have a DBA in business.
Correct.
Wow. That took a lot.
I like school, apparently.
Yeah. So, coming from a blue collar background, it's impressive to conversate with people who have degrees and who are educated, and so we have a lot of interesting conversations, and I respect a lot of her opinions because I find her to be educated and knowledgeable, and I find her to have a lot of life experience. So to me, she's the perfect her for this podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, all right, now my turn.
Yeah. Well, I hope that we talk, whether it's on this episode or a future episode, we talk about how after work we meet on the back porch, sort of decompress, talk about our day. We talk about what went well, what maybe didn't go so well. And I love those conversations. Sometimes I wish that maybe we had like a security camera or something just to capture us in the real moment, because we have such great conversations together. And I feel like we grow stronger, closer by doing that every day. I look forward to it. And then, of course, from your perspective, you've traveled the world, you've lived overseas, you've traveled the country as a truck driver, you've experienced things that I've never experienced, just living primarily in the state of North Carolina all my life.
Wow.
So just in the short time that we've been back together, I've traveled probably more than I ever have with you, and I'm super grateful for that.
Yeah.
So, but we also have to give you kudos for getting your bachelor's last year. It was not an easy feat. Being a working professional, raising a family, going back to school is always hard. But if anything, we're a validation that it can be done. Yeah. It takes determination for sure.
So male perspective, female perspective. I would call it fortunate today. I wouldn't call it fortunate, all those years ago, but I was able to do the blue collar thing, no education. I often joked all those years ago that most of my applications said GED with some college. Right? But I knew, because I had mentors in my life, as a young man, and they, we talked about getting a trade, getting a certification, getting something to where people will talk to you, about money and about leadership and supervisor positions. And so that's what I did, and I was an electrician for a long time, made great money. I was a young man, so I was able to do all that, but then as I got older, being blue collar, working in construction, did the truck driving thing with my dad for a long time. I had a preconceived notion of white collar and corporate America.
Very true.
The man.
Yeah. And that's not you at all.
No, I've always stayed away from the man. So I've been self-employed for the most part, most of my life. And I like that about myself because I'm able to tell our youth that you don't have to go to college. If you're not a college person, if you're not a school person, you don't like school, there are ways to be successful without going to college. Now, I'm an advocate for college, but I'm also an advocate for those who are unable to sit in the classroom for 8 hours, but can tear a motor apart and put it back together, blindfolded. You know what I mean? So, corporate office perspective, out in the field, and there's always been a disconnect between people who work in the field and people who work in the office, right? Because it looks good in the office, but then when it comes to the application, it doesn't always pan out, right? So it's our belief that there is a balance in life that's necessary. And some of us know it as yin and yang. It's the up and down, it's the left and right, it's the good, the bad. It's, truly what balances you in life, because I don't have everything in life. So I'm appreciative that what I don't have, she has.
Yeah, and likewise. I do feel like we complement each other very well.
Yeah. So, and interestingly enough, some of these back porch conversations or office conversations, we share an office as well. The comparison between her field and my field. So you're in project management, more like directors, and how many? Give yourself a little pat on the back. How many people do report to you?
My team currently has 5 managers, and we have about 45 project managers.
Wow. Yeah. So project management, 45 people ish. Depending on, I guess if you're just
it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Well, it's people.
Absolutely.
Right. So in my line of work as a coach, a mentor, a youth coach, strength and conditioning coach, an educator, a lot of the same rules apply between project management and all those things that I listed, that are happening in my field. So a lot of those back porch conversations are interesting because I get to see it from a different perspective.
Sort of like when you traveled to Phoenix with me last week. I had a speaking engagement at a conference.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah,
congratulations, kudos, round of applause. Well, almost 300 people you spoke in front of.
I did, yeah, it was insane. But it was nice that as we decompressed after that event, you realize that even in your industry, in the health and wellness and the fitness industry, how much project management is in that industry. So we have something that's very relatable, even though I'm in the consulting side, working primarily with U.S. government customers. You are working with clients. You still have to have those people skills, the soft skills. You need to have the project management scheduling structure. in place. So it's very much relatable.
Something happened during one of our back porch conversations. I grew up in a military family, so I know the phrase or the words money, time, and personnel, right? My dad was in the military, so that's what I was taught, those three words. But you know those three words a little different, because in project management, it's pretty much the same. Just
scope, schedule, and budget.
Scope, schedule, and budget. So again, when we talk about, it's another awesome example of how both of our jobs ride that proverbial line.
Absolutely.
They're similar, excuse me, but also different in a lot of ways. So college, professional success, I mean, you're a pretty big deal, you know, and we don't realize as spouses how much of a big deal, you know, our spouses are oftentimes, because when she's here, she's my wife, she's mom. So I don't really see you, you know, as, I mean, I see you as someone who's educated and articulate and all that stuff, but just seeing you in the element, seeing you be on was interesting and exciting and inspiring.
Very much.
Like it makes me want to do that.
Well, you're tapping into that now. Like I get to watch you on YouTube now that you're a part of the Town of Apex Parks and Rec Advisory Board. You're sitting on an advisory board with peers, and you are representing the entire town in the Parks and Rec space. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. So again, going back to why would we have a podcast? I think we've been pretty successful with a lot of heartache, with a lot of peaks and valleys. You know, don't get us wrong. We're not up here glorifying the whole journey, you know, but education, career, family, right? Your mom, together we have 6 kids. She's got 2 boys, 1 daughter. I've got 3 daughters.
Yes.
So, and all of them, none of them are addicts. None of them have a criminal record.
Yeah.
None of them are homeless.
Yeah. So we did good.
Yeah. So, and they're all educated. They all have, they're either, most of them are out of school. That's, I guess we're kind of showing our age right now, but we've been around for a little while. Okay. We're not these young spring chickens trying to give unsolicited advice.
Yeah. We've not always made the right decisions, but we've learned from them. And we're here today to tell our kids, to tell you about them.
So, community work, you know what I mean? It's, we know a lot about community work. We can offer a lot of advice and suggestions on community work. It's pretty big in our lives. There's been times where I've done more free shit than I've done making money. You know what I mean? So you take that education, you take that experience, you take that knowledge, and you capitalize on it, but you also volunteer a lot of it up at the same time.
Very much. And so it made me think of like when you do a highway cleanup, but yet we pay for lawn service.
Well, sometimes it's about time or money.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, so many different sides of the table, so many different outlooks, so many different perceptions. We do not put labels on one another. No, I don't think, we're not, neither one of us are Republicans. We're not Democrats. We're not this, we're not that. We're not labels. We're not labeled and put in a box. And I want this podcast to be a representation of that. And we'll talk a lot about that, you know, in future episodes, but give them an idea on some of the things we've talked about, like, you know, what to look forward to in future podcasts.
Oh, we have a long list of ideas. Something that comes to mind is how we were raised and how we raise our children. It's been a little bit different. Learning through how to be that blended family, the challenges and the helping each other understand each other's side.
Yeah. Wow. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. Networking. We talk a lot about finding other opportunities to expand our circle
Mm.
for our career growth, entrepreneurship plans that we have coming up.
Yeah, and I talk a little bit about that, shameless plug here, on the podcast that I do for my business, Apex Performance Center. You can find us on YouTube. But we talk a little bit about, and I learned this from you. And again, this is why would I have a podcast with her? The same reason I'd have her as a business partner. The same reason I would have her as a wife. You know what I mean? She's advantageous to my growth in life. So going back to I grew up in blue collar, swinging hammers. And I don't know a lot of the etiquette, about, for example, some of you young people who are still, out there looking for jobs, and you have, you made it through the application or the interview process. If you are fortunate to get an interview, reach out to them after the interview, right? The next day,
Yes.
within 24 hours.
24 hours.
Yeah,
yes.
not that day, of course, but by that evening, before business hours close, the following day, you should have some sort of thank you email, because a lot of people don't do that, and of course, sticking out, being different.
Absolutely. It separates you from the rest of the applicants.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So don't be shy to reach out to people.
Advocate for yourself.
Advocate for yourself.
Yes.
And don't be shy to reach out to people. And I made this very statement in my podcast earlier. Don't be shy to reach out to people who are in positions that you want to be in. Because most people like talking about themselves, and they have no problem, putting 5 minutes aside to tell you all about them.
Well, and it helps. How did they get there? Somebody gave them an opportunity to be a stepping stone into their career. So I think it's important for you to learn from their experience.
Yeah. And I think that's my intent as well with this podcast is, the whole, if I knew then what I know now, so we're professionals, we're family oriented, we're entrepreneurs. So there's a lot of things we've been through and we've experienced, that I hope to give you guys a little shortcut, to avoid some of the pitfalls and roadblocks that we had to go through to get where we're at. Because there's not a book, and you don't get a guidance counselor. You don't get a guidance counselor out here.
No, after you graduate high school, you don't have a guidance counselor anymore.
I remember spending a long time thinking about being a strength and conditioning coach, in a college. And then just like that, everything changes, different mindset, different goals.
Pretty quickly for you.
Yeah.
So it just meant another door opened. You're like, oh, well, let me step inside and see what that's all about. And it sort of repurposed your career outlook.
Yeah. So we have a lot of exciting things coming up in the future. I look forward to them. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but again, we're both professionals. We're both family oriented. So sometimes finding the time has been difficult, but we've both agreed. We just decorated. So we agreed to, put an effort into this, because it's yet another way for us to give back to the community, give back to the people, share something positive with all the negative stuff that's in this world. And we're going to open everything up to you, the viewers. Feel free to share comments, tell us things that go on in your life, professionally.
Ask questions.
Share a topic that you want to talk about, and we'll go for it, because we have a pretty long list of things that we found to be important enough to have a podcast about. But eventually we're going to run out of stuff. So we're going to depend on you guys to help out and send some suggestions. We all go through life, and one step at a time. And sometimes it's just nice to have somebody to kind of lean on a little bit, during uncertainty.
Absolutely.
Or, whatever it is you're going through. I'll
help you schedule it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Get yourself a Jill. All right. All right. So another episode coming soon, and we'll see you guys then.